It's a beautiful morning. Yes, it is. Look at those beautiful flowers, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. And you've got these beautiful red calyx coming in right here. Beautiful, beautiful. And these, of course, are the Florida cranberry, the Jamaican sorrel, red tea, as it's sometimes just called, the whole plant. Hibiscus sabdariffa, one of those. Beautiful. And these guys managed to survive Hurricane Milton and sitting in about a foot or two of water for a couple weeks, which I was really surprised. And they have done just beautiful. They're a little beat up looking, but it's just a wall of flowers and red calyx here, looking really gorgeous on this beautiful morning. And I've made several videos about these plants, and that's for a reason. And my wife has health issues, kidney issues, heart issues. She's a type 1 diabetic. And I attribute her doing so well. Her A1C is amazing. Her heart, her kidneys are doing amazing. And I attribute that to her regular consumption. I make this red tea, and I make it into a syrup, or I just make the tea and I make her a drink out of it. And she drinks this multiple times throughout the week. And it really, really does well. It keeps her kidneys, it keeps you flushed out. It's a really strong diuretic. Keeps her blood pressure where it needs to go. And I really attribute a lot of that to this plant, among other things. Not just this plant, but these are incredibly good at what they do. And that is keeping your kidneys functioning and your blood pressure low, and just everything packed with antioxidants and vitamin C and tons of nutrition. You really can't beat something like this, and it tastes great. If you just make the tea, I don't ever boil it, just nice hot, super hot water, put in a bunch of the dried red calyx, and it comes out super deep red and a little sourness to it. I add a little bit of sugar or stevia to it. And just amazing. Super easy to grow plant. It's an annual, naturally, or very, very short-lived perennial if you don't get a frost. And it grows very, very fast from seed. Extremely fast from seed. And they are day length sensitive, which means they won't flower or the end of October here, which means they won't flower until the days start getting a little short. Though I have recently hopefully found a day length neutral variety, which I'm really excited about. I just got it this year, so for the 25 season I'll be growing that out and hopefully have a day length neutral variety that everybody will be able to grow. Because right now, most of the U.S. can grow this, so if you're up north, your season's probably, you get cold too fast. Once the days shorten, you're already getting cold. These may not produce the calyx for you. I'm not sure, but a day-length neutral variety would be really awesome. And if that pans out, I'll be able to make some crosses with this variety, which is Manchester Black, and go from there, which would be pretty awesome. But look at how productive these are. And you're up in the air here, guys. I planted these in August, and they're over my head by a couple feet. They grow extremely fast. If I were to plant these at the beginning of the year, which I do sometimes if I want a quick hedge or something, these will easily be 10 plus feet tall, and you can trim them throughout the growing season, and they'll just be easily like small shrubby trees in one season. They grow so fast. But look at those, just gorgeous. And Manchester Black, there's a couple Thai varieties out there and whatnot, different varieties of these. These get nice dark calyx. They get really large calyx. And they're almost 100%, if not 100%, resistant to powdery mildew. I have a white variety growing up the front of the yard near the road, and beautiful. It's got calyx just like these, except they're pure white. I think I put a video up of those. You'll have to look for it. And unfortunately, that variety right now, the leaves are completely covered in gray-green mildew. We're at that time of year where our mornings are nice and cool. We're only in the 60s right now, but we're still really damp. The humidity's high. You can see the moisture on these leaves. So perfect conditions for powdery mildew. And that can really affect the calyx because the calyxes get covered in it, and you don't want mold all over your stuff. So this is, as you can see, 0 powdery mildew on here, where the white variety I have up farther in the yard is completely covered in it. I'll have to work with that one a little bit. But this one, I've saved seed from this. I have grown this for 15 plus years before I met my wife. Gosh, so long I've grown this, and I've selected every year for the absolute largest calyx and complete resistance to that powdery mildew. So beautiful, beautiful plants. Look at that. The ducks agree. Ducks are loud, by the way. They are about 300 feet away, and you can still hear the little monsters. But look at that sight. Just gorgeous, guys. Beautiful, beautiful. This time of year, I just love coming out in the morning and just looking at all of these. Look at that right there. But this video is long enough, guys. Definitely get some Florida cranberry seed and plant it out next year. The calyx are edible. You can do everything with them. You can actually make a cranberry sauce with them. You can make your tea out of them. They make amazing popsicles, by the way. I love making them into popsicles. You can make real jellies and jams out of them. The flowers are just gorgeous. Of course, you can eat the flowers too. You can eat the leaves. There's so much you can do with them, and they're so gorgeous. You just can't pass that up. And these right now are just a wall of gorgeous calyx and those beautiful flowers. And as the morning goes on, these will actually start fading to a pink color right before they close. They open up yellow, and then they turn pink, and they'll become a nice pink, gorgeous, and then they close up, and then those calyx grow pretty fast. But beautiful plants. So grow food, guys. And I know this is another video on the Florida cranberry, but it's one that I can't push out there enough because so many people could benefit from simply making a delicious drink out of that right there. That's all you gotta do. And it tastes good, guys. And it's so amazing. You see, you pop those off, and you literally just take the outside, because if you look on the inside, there's the seed pod. You don't want the seed pod, you just want the outside calyx. And I like to take a spoon, and because I save my own seed, I'll actually just leave that on there, and I'll take a spoon and just cut around the outside and leave the seed pod on there to mature and ripen, and then I'll dry the calyx. But that's simple, guys. I don't recommend buying this. You can find it in the store pretty readily now, but the cheap stuff, if you're not buying a really good quality one, they'll use the entire flower bud, which I don't think is as good as the quality, and it tends to be bitter in my opinion. See, that's an unopened one right there. That hasn't flowered yet. And they'll just take the entire bud and calyx and seed pod, and they'll dry that entire thing, which is easier because you don't have to break the calyx off. But it's not as good quality because you get the flower petals and everything, which those don't make a good tea at all. So you end up losing quite a bit, in my opinion. Where if you harvest it yourself, grow it yourself, you can just get the calyx and have a nice, really good quality calyx to make your tea from, which is the way to go. So I will leave you there, guys. I hope you enjoyed looking at these beautiful flowers with me. It is literally, I've got about 100-foot row here, 80-foot row, and it's just a wall of beautiful flowers and red calyx. Really gorgeous this time of year, coming out here and having a look at them. You just can't beat it. So I'll leave you there, guys. Love you. Grow food, and sometimes you gotta grow things that you make into delicious, nutritious, extremely good for you teas and whatnot, right? Can't beat that. See you later, guys. Love you. Where's a flower? I'll lay down a nice flower here for you right there. Look at that. Just beautiful.